Welcome back to Pancake FC, the YouTube channel named after the fantasy team named after my dog. Today, we are doing another MLS tier list, strikers, every MLS team's number 9 for teams who don't necessarily have a traditional 9. I've just picked the next closest thing. I'm, as always, joined by my co-host and companion, Pancake. She is, as per usual, hanging out on the couch, not doing a damn thing right now, not a care or worry in the world. A lot like a couple of these strikers we're going to get into in just a moment. If you do find yourself enjoying the video, please feel free to feel encouraged to like, comment, subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake does get an extra treat, and that is not a joke. I really do that. So if you want, oh, look at her. She's so good. Good job, Pancake. Very good. If you want to get some extra treats, get to it. And thank you all so much for watching. I always really do appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into the video. We're going to start off with Luis Suarez. He is a top-notch goal scorer. His reputation precedes him. The very first few games he played, I think he was just getting up to speed. He really just, not a lot of quick movement. He almost literally waddled around the field. Since then, he's looked a lot better. I don't know if the injections he gets in his knees every game are starting to pay off more and more, but he physically has looked better to me, and he has knocked in quite a few goals this year. Definitely still a top-notch goal scorer. Kevin Kelsey for Cincinnati. He is their new number 9. He's been very solid since coming in. Super young player. Very impressive start to his career in MLS. Very promising. If he keeps knocking them into the back of the net like he's done so far, then he for sure would fly up a ranking like this. The tiers are, by the way, top-notch goal scorer, very good, solid, he's all right, and yikes. Speaking of yikes, unfortunately, Bakrar from New York City FC has been a big yikes this year. Maybe the worst, or at least player who's the 9 who's underperformed the most, I would say, this year, relative maybe a little bit to expectation. He's just missed so many chances, and he's gotten himself so many good chances. Normally, before I would do a video like this, I would do a little bit of extra research. I didn't have the time necessarily before I started recording, so we're actually going to hang out probably a bit on FB Ref during this video. So I'm fascinated to see what Musaf Bakrar's FB Ref page looks like, and I'll tell you what, it looks about what I thought it would be. He does a great job of getting himself into good positions. He has a very high expected goals. He's getting a lot of shots off, but obviously you look at the goal tallies, not good. His passing as well has apparently been pretty poor. He's been offside a lot. He's just really struggled to put the ball in the back of the net, even if he has gotten himself into some good positions. He did finally score. Maybe it was last week now, or I can't remember if it was the other day. So he's got one. He's on the board, but definitely kind of a big yikes there. Cucho, Columbus don't necessarily play with a traditional 9, so Cucho's probably the closest thing to it. He's a top-notch goal scorer, one of the best players in the league. Not much else to say about Cucho Hernandez. He's the real deal. Lewis Morgan has played the 9 spot a lot for the New York City Red Bulls this year. He's kind of rotated in and off the wing, but probably closest thing to it. He's very good, having a very good season in New York. Prince Owusu, one of the big breakout players of this season. He's a lot older than I thought he was too. I think he's 26. I thought he was a lot younger than that. Impressive to be breaking out the way he is at this point in his career. He's been probably solid just because the sample size of him popping off is a little bit smaller and more recent. Don't want to lean too much into the recency bias, but he's been very solid, very good recently for Toronto. A very natural feeling goal scorer. Speaking of, Ajiman from Charlotte also having a big-time breakout year, pushing Enzo Capetti out of Charlotte. Who needs him when you got Patrick Ajiman? Super talented player, very solid. Big guy, too. He's super tall. He did miss one kind of brutal tap-in earlier in the season, but aside from that, he's been clinical, very talented, very solid striker. Julian Carranza, he's kind of proven himself as a top-notch goal scorer. Yeah, I'll probably put him up there. He's a top-notch guy. We'll see how much longer he stays in Major League Soccer. It does look like he'll be leaving soon, and wherever he goes, they're going to be lucky to have him. He's a top-notch player. Super dangerous guy. Julian Carranza is a monster, as is Christian Benteke, enjoying a semi-renaissance year. I think that would be fair to say. Last year, he was pretty decent, but this year he's had a couple hat tricks, some really big games. He has also been quite wasteful in front of goal. I'm actually kind of fascinated by what his FBref page looks like. I mean, Christian Benteke has always been wasteful in front of goal. He misses a lot of chances that are frustrating, but he also hits in a lot of, great goals. And at this point in his career, to be having the season that he's having, I think it's impressive. And this is a very solid stats pool. He's been really good this year. Really, really good this year, even if a little bit wasteful. I think, as far as these strikers go, he's right up there as a top-notch guy. Anyone would want or be lucky to have Christian Benteke on their team. Also just a great locker room leader. In a sense, a legendary player, I would definitely say. Duncan McGuire, I think, is very, very good. Maybe not quite to the top tier, but a super, super talented young striker. He did, unfortunately for his sake, I guess, he did not get his move to England. That fell apart more than once within a week, it seemed like. And unfortunately, recently, it seems like he's maybe broken his arm or hurt his arm pretty bad. So I hope he does recover. But he's a very, very good, very talented striker. Sam Sturridge, probably just all right. He has struggled quite a bit since moving to Nashville. If Nashville do implement a more attacking style of play under a new coach, then I could definitely see Surge's form improving, him moving up a ranking like this a little bit. But in general, I would just say he's been all right. He's had a couple of really good games. I think, did he have a hat trick recently, or did I dream that? I think that happened. If not, it was a brace. But he's been, he's had a couple of really good games, but also had a couple of really bad games. Missed a lot of good chances. Giakoumakis is a top-notch goal scorer. In the similar vein as Julian Carranza, we'll see how much longer he is in Major League Soccer. It does really seem like a move to Mexico is on the cards right now, which is a shame. I know Giakoumakis, health-wise, is very unreliable. I mean, he's like a glass tank. He shatters easily, even though he's one of the scariest players in the league. And holy moly, he is an amazing goal scorer. Last year, goals per 90, he destroyed everybody. Nobody else was close. I don't remember what the numbers were, but it was crazy. It wasn't even close. He's a top-notch goal scorer. If he could stay healthy, he would be a big deal. Matheus Cocaro for Montreal, new forward coming in. I thought about going with Josef Martinez, but it seems like when everyone's healthy, Cocaro's playing the 9. He's been pretty solid since he's come in. A pretty dangerous player, very kind of chippy, scrappy kind of guy. I'm a fan. It's a shame he got hurt recently. I think he'll be back for not too long, though, hopefully. And he'll be back to giving other teams hell, because he's been very, very solid since coming into the league. Kuipers, probably just all right. He seems to be a very service-dependent forward. He really can't or struggles to create chances on his own, but he can put them away. He did in Belgium, and we've seen it in small bursts in Chicago, but, the service just has him in there, and I mean, I'm tempted to put him into the ice category just because he was so prolific in Belgium, and then he's really struggled since coming to Chicago. That whole team has struggled, though, and really they probably haven't given him the service that he deserves. But that being said, I mean, it's just, yeah, I mean, you can see the XG and a lot of these numbers aren't great. He's really just, he's not, probably just not getting the service he needs. He's not a guy who can do it so much on his own, and that's all right. He if he were on a different team, he would probably have a lot more goals. Oh, Vrioni is definitely a yikes. I am fascinated to see what his FBref page is like. I cannot imagine it is good. Giacomo Vrioni is, I mean, frankly, probably the worst starting 9 in the league right now. He's been benched a few times this year. He's just been, frankly, really poor. He's not like, I mean, he's not a slow player. Like, sometimes I see him play and I'm like, he's fast, and sometimes he gets himself into good positions for breakaways. He's got 2 goals. I thought he only had 1. He gets himself into good spots. I would guess his XG, no. Oh, no. Golly. Hey, he's not so bad in the air. You got that going for him. Man, this is way worse than I thought it was going to be. Way worse. All right, let's move on from that. Chicho Arango is having the season of his life right now. Holy cow, what a pickup for Real Salt Lake. The man is a top-notch goal scorer. If Lionel Messi weren't in the league, he would be a runaway MVP. What a season. What a guy. I would love to see what his FB ref page looks like. I bet it is pretty good. He's just been outstanding. Maybe my favorite player in the league right now. So much fun to watch. Just always dangerous. Definition of like he got that dog in him. Oh boy, that is wow. That is a really good stats breakdown. Yeah, that's about what you think in just imperious form right now. Tani Oluwaseyi is another guy who's enjoying. There's a few strikers who are having some really nice breakout seasons. He has usurped Temu Pukki, who's been awful this year. I don't know what has happened to him. He's fallen off a cliff. Missed a wide open net the other day. Doesn't matter for Minnesota, though. They got Oluwaseyi, who's been very solid. I'm actually, yeah, we'll look him up. We'll look him up. I bet it's pretty solid. It's been really cool to see him start this year as like a super sub, kind of late game sub, and just bulldoze his way into the starting lineup, and is one of the most solid forwards in the league this year. He's had a very impressive year, and this is a very solid. You can see that he's a poacher / kind of target man guy. He's not creating a lot, but he is putting in the back of the net. Very impressive player this year. How many goals does he have? He's scored 6 goals, 3 assists. That's very solid. Joveljic is probably in the very good category. His expected goals for this year is crazy. I'm pretty sure he has the highest XG, or it may just be non-pen XG, of any player in the league this year. He doesn't always put in the back of the net, but hey, he usually does. Last year, he did struggle quite a bit, and it's been nice to see him bounce back the way that he has this year. Kai Kamara, I just can't stick Kai Kamara in yikes, even though his form as of late has been not very good. It's amazing that Kai Kamara is still starting in this league. He's a legend. He's an MLS legend. I can't put him in yikes. I won't do it, even if he really just hasn't done anything since coming into the LAFC lineup. I mean, they've got Giroud coming in soon, so that's good for them. Diego Rubio, maybe all right. Diego Rubio's a little bit of an underrated player. When he's healthy, he's pretty good, and he has scored a few goals for Austin this year. But really, he's probably just, all right. It was a decent pickup for them, and he's when healthy, definitely not a bad player. Navajo's been having a very good season for Colorado. I'm not sure if I want to put him very good or solid. Probably just solid. This feels more like his zone. He did miss a pen the other day, but aside from that, he's been really good this year. Brian White, big Brian White fan. He's very good. Very good. Super talented forward. Just amazing in the air. Very important piece of that Vancouver attack. This is Sebas Ferreira from the Houston Dynamo. I'm probably going to stick him in the yikes category. He had that one good year. I think that was his first year in Houston where he scored like 14 goals or something. And then last year just got booted off the island, didn't do anything, and then left and got hurt, I think, too. This year, since coming back from injury, and I think he was re-injured again, to be fair, but, as a big DP signing, like, holy moly, it is not worked out at all. Raul Ruidiaz, unfortunately, is a little bit past it. He's had some incredible years in Major League Soccer. Those years are definitely behind him. He still can put the ball in the back of the net. He shoots a ton. One of the highest shooting players in the league. Really, he's probably just in the all right category. Jan Klaus, I think, is a lot of fun. I think he's a very fun player. He's actually played kind of a false nine some for St. Louis this year. Super big, very physical player. I thought he was like 33. The man's like 26 or 27. Maybe not aging the most gracefully, but he does not play gracefully either, but he is very solid. Had a really good year last year where he heavily outperformed his XG. This year, he's falling a little bit closer in line with where he probably should be, but still very solid. I like Klaus quite a bit. Musa for FC Dallas, since coming in, has had some solid games. Has had some not so solid games. When Jesus Ferreira is not in the field for them, I mean, Dallas just can't do anything. Even with Musa, he's a guy who needs some good service to make things happen. He is a solid player, but the way he's performed so far this year, it wouldn't feel right to put him any higher than he's all right. Jeremy Abobasi, probably just in the yikes category for me. We can double check the FB ref page and the goals, but he's been benched once or twice this year. He wasn't very good last year, in my opinion, either. He's got 4 goals, and I mean, he can pass the ball okay. And apparently he's good at take-ons. I've never really noticed that before in his game. He's really good at intercepting the ball. He is a decent pressing forward. That's for sure. I've seen him make some decent plays. But the attacking numbers here definitely speak for themselves. So as far as the yikes category goes, he's the best of the bunch. But I don't think he deserves to be in all right. That might be a little bit harsh, but we'll see. Pulido, almost tempted to yikes him too. He's either going to be in yikes or all right. Let's consult FB ref here real fast. He is probably another guy similar to Raul Ruidiaz, where his best days are behind him. He's got 3 goals, 2 assists. Numbers aren't too bad. They're not good though. I mean, relative to expectation, I would say he's struggling. I'm gonna yikes him. I think this is a little bit harsh on Abobasi and Pulido, but hey, let's be controversial. I think they're both struggling quite a bit right now in general, and I just don't think they're quite on the same level as the guys in the all right category. But this is my striker tier list. That is, I think, how we're gonna leave it. Pancake, stop licking the couch. And I think that's actually going to probably do it. That's going to do it for today for Pancake and I. Thank y'all so much for watching again. Please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. For every person who does so, Pancake gets an extra treat, and that's real. I really will give her extra treats for that. She's hearing the word treat, and she likes it. Thank y'all again so much for watching. I'll talk to y'all again soon.